Father's advice came quietly, like dawn entering a room without knocking, soft enough to miss, strong enough to change a life. He never raised his voice to sound wise. Wisdom sat naturally on his tongue, seasoned by years, tempered by silence. Walk straight, he said, not only on roads, but through intentions, through promises, through your own heart. He taught me that honesty is heavier than gold, yet lighter to carry than a lie. Do not fear being poor, he whispered one evening. Fear becoming empty inside. His hands were rough, full of stories, creased with sacrifices he never explained. He believed work was a prayer, and patience its reward. Earn your bread, he said, so it tastes like dignity. When I failed, he did not scold the fall, he taught me how to stand. Pain, he said, is a teacher that doesn't speak softly, but it tells the truth. He warned me about pride, called it a beautiful poison, sweet at first sip, deadly in the end. Respect everyone, from the gatekeeper to the king, for time changes chairs, not souls. He taught me silence, that not every answer needs a sound, not every battle needs a sword. When the world tempted me, he reminded me of roots, of soil that remembers your name even when cities forget it. Choose character over comfort, he said. Comfort fades, character follows you to the grave. He spoke of friends carefully like fragile glass. Count them slowly, he advised, because true ones are rare. He never preached dreams loudly, he lived them quietly. In his tired eyes I saw unfinished hopes he gave up so mine could breathe. Time, he said, is the only judge that never sleeps. He taught me forgiveness not as weakness, but as freedom from chains we build ourselves. When anger burned in me, he cooled it with understanding. Fire can warm a home, he said, or burn it down. He warned me about shortcuts, roads that promise speed but steal direction. Be kind, he told me, especially when you don't have to be. He spoke about love like a responsibility, not a luxury. Protect hearts, he said, including your own. He taught me faith, not from books alone, but from standing tall when answers were delayed. Pray, he said, but also move your feet. In his advice there were no decorations, only truth dressed in simplicity. When I wanted to quit, he reminded me why I started. Life will test you, he said, not to break you, but to show you who you are. He believed in tomorrow even when today was cruel. He told me not to chase applause, because silence often claps the loudest. Your name, he said, is a loan from your ancestors, return it clean. He taught me humility, by living below his means and above his fears. When I left home, his advice walked with me, in my steps, in my choices, in my pauses. Even now, when the world confuses me, I hear his voice like an old compass, steady, unshaken. Father's advice was never just words. It was a map, drawn with love, inked with sacrifice, sealed with faith. And I carry it still, in every breath I take, hoping one day my silence will teach someone the way his did. Father's advice followed me into storms, into rooms where my name meant nothing, into nights where courage was thin and doubt sat heavy on my chest. He told me, do not borrow your worth from the opinions of others. So when voices tried to shape me, I remembered his hands, steady, unshaken, building a life without noise. He warned me about envy, called it a shadow that grows only when you turn away from your own light. Run your own race, he said. The finish line is different for everyone. He taught me that mistakes are not stains on character, but fingerprints of learning. When success smiled at me, he taught me how to bow. When you rise, he said, carry others with you. He never promised ease, only meaning. Life won't be fair, he admitted honestly, but you can still be just. He told me wealth is loud, but peace is quiet, and the quiet things are harder to steal. He taught me to listen more than speak, because wisdom often arrives wearing silence. When I questioned my path, he reminded me that even the stars look lost before they shine. Do not rush growth, he said. Even trees take years to become shade. He taught me loyalty, not blind, but brave. Stand for truth, he said, even if you stand alone. He spoke about patience like a form of strength, not waiting idly, but trusting actively. When fear knocked on my door, he taught me to answer with preparation. Hope, he said, is useless without effort. He warned me of arrogance, how it deafens the heart and blinds the mind. Stay teachable, he advised, even when you think you know. He taught me gratitude, to thank even the hard days, because they carve endurance into the soul. When I broke under pressure, he didn't shame the cracks. He showed me how light enters through them. Pain passes, he said, but lessons linger. He taught me to choose words carefully because once released, they never return the same. He told me love is not possession, but protection. Care, he said, without controlling. He spoke of time again and again, how it forgives no one, yet rewards consistency. Start small, he said, but start today. He taught me to respect women not as weakness, but as strength shaped differently. He taught me mercy, even when revenge felt easier. Victory, he said, that costs your humanity is defeat. In moments of loneliness, his advice became company, sitting beside me when the world felt distant. He told me, do not let bitterness rent space in your heart. He taught me balance between ambition and contentment, between dreaming and grounding. When I questioned faith, he didn't force answers, he modeled trust. Believe, he said, even when proof arrives late. His advice aged well, like truth always does, growing clearer as I grew older. Now, I understand what I couldn't then. His words were not instructions, they were protection. And still, his voice returns when choices weigh heavy. When roads split silently, Father's advice kept unfolding with time, like a book that reveals new meanings each time life turns a page. He once said, do not measure success by how high you climb, but by how many you lift. Those words stayed quiet for years, then suddenly grew loud when I stood above others and felt the weight of choice. He warned me about hatred, called it a fire that burns the hand that carries it. Let go, he said, not because they deserve peace, but because you do. He taught me discipline, not with punishment, but with example. Every morning he rose before the sun remembered its duty. He believed routine was respect for time. Your future, he said, is built in boring moments no one applauds. When I complained about effort, he reminded me how seeds break in darkness before becoming trees. He taught me courage, not the loud kind, but the quiet decision to keep going when quitting feels reasonable. He warned me about excuses, how comfortable they feel, how expensive they become. Responsibility, he said, is the price of freedom. He spoke gently about money, never worshiping it, never despising it. Control it, he said, or it will control you. He taught me generosity, not from abundance, but from intention. Give, he said, even if all you have is kindness. He told me about regret, how it grows from hesitation more than from failure. Try, he said, so your nights stay quiet. When I doubted myself, he didn't inflate my ego, he strengthened my spine. You are capable, he said, if you stay consistent. He warned me about comparisons, how they steal joy and distort reality. Look forward, he said, not sideways. He taught me leadership without ever naming it, by listening first, by serving without credit. He spoke of promises seriously, like sacred contracts. Your word, he said, should survive your absence. He taught me resilience by surviving silently what would have broken many. When storms came, he stood firm, teaching me that stability is also strength. He warned me about loneliness, not the absence of people, but the absence of purpose. Find meaning, he said, and solitude will not scare you. He taught me humility again and again until I learned that bowing does not shrink a man. He told me not to fear aging because time polishes character when pride allows it. Grow old, he said, but never grow cruel. He spoke of legacy carefully, not in monuments, but in memories. Live, he said, So your absence teaches goodness. Now his advice echoes stronger than ever, because life finally asked the same questions he answered years ago. I understand now. He was preparing me for moments he would not be present to guide. Father's advice was not meant to keep me close, but to let me walk far without losing myself. And as I moved forward, I realized this truth. His voice did not fade, it became my own. Father's advice is a lamp I didn't know I was carrying, until the night grew dark. Father's advice continues to rise in moments I never expected, like an old song playing softly in unfamiliar places. He once told me, "When life praises you, stay grounded. When it ignores you, stay steady." I learned that balance from watching his footsteps, never rushing, never retreating, just moving with purpose. He warned me about anger spoken too quickly, how words can wound deeper than silence ever could. "Pause," he said, "before you speak, because you can apologize for tone, but not always for damage." He taught me endurance, that strength is not always visible. Sometimes it looks like showing up again after yesterday tried to defeat you. When I felt unseen, he reminded me that roots grow unseen too. "Let depth," he said, "matter more than display." He taught me to accept criticism without losing myself, and praise without believing I had arrived. "Stay hungry," he said, "but never desperate." He spoke about justice as a daily practice, not a slogan. "Do right," he said, "especially when no one is counting." He warned me of temptation, not as sin alone, but as distraction from purpose. "Ask yourself," he said, "what this costs you tomorrow." He taught me courage in kindness, that being gentle in a harsh world is not weakness, but rebellion. When life slowed me down, he taught me patience again. "Rest," he said, "but don't quit." He spoke of self-respect as an invisible armor. "Protect it," he said, "because once cracked, everything hurts more." He taught me accountability, that blaming others delays growth. "Own your part," he said, "and power returns to you." He warned me about bitterness, how it disguises itself as wisdom. "Don't confuse pain with understanding," he said. He taught me gratitude in scarcity, how appreciation multiplies what complaint diminishes. When I felt lost, he didn't demand direction, he encouraged motion. "Even wrong steps," he said, "teach the feet." He spoke about love again, how it requires patience, sacrifice, and courage to stay soft. "Love," he said, "with intention, not impulse." He taught me to respect time with parents, because absence arrives without warning. "Visit," he said, "while voices are warm." He taught me dignity in struggle, that desperation should never steal honor. "Carry yourself," he said, "like someone watching is learning from you." He warned me about hopelessness, how it lies convincingly. "Hope," he said, "is a decision, not a feeling." Now his advice feels less like memory and more like instinct, guiding my hands, guarding my heart. I hear him when I hesitate, when I choose restraint over reaction. Father's advice has aged into wisdom inside my bones. And someday, when my voice carries weight, when younger ears lean closer, I will not repeat his words exactly. I will live them. Father's advice keeps walking beside me, even now, even when years have placed distance between his chair and my own. He once said, "There will be days when you won't recognize yourself. Those are the days you must hold on the tightest." I didn't understand then, but life explained it slowly, through loss, through change, through becoming someone new without asking permission. He taught me how to lose, not with bitterness, but with grace. "Loss," he said, "is not the end of dignity unless you let it be." When my heart trusted too easily, and pain followed close behind, he didn't mock my softness. "Keep it," he said. "The world needs men who feel deeply and act wisely." He warned me about silence used wrongly, about holding truth hostage for comfort's sake. "Speak," he said, "when silence becomes cowardice." He taught me restraint, that not every truth needs to be sharpened into a weapon. "Say it," he advised, "so it heals, not humiliates." He taught me responsibility again, when I wanted to escape consequences. Freedom, he said, is owning what you choose. He warned me about impatience, how it rushes blessings before they're ready to last. Wait, he said, so you don't have to return and fix what haste broke. He taught me resilience through example, watching him rebuild quietly after life tested him without mercy. No complaints, no speeches, just persistence. He spoke of faith during unanswered prayers. Trust, he said, does not mean ease, it means endurance. He taught me how to carry sadness without letting it poison joy. Feel it, he said, but don't live there. He warned me about becoming hard, how pain tries to turn scars into walls. Let scars teach, he said, not isolate. He taught me to forgive myself, a lesson harder than forgiving others. Learn, he said, then move forward. He taught me pride's opposite, self-respect. Know your worth, he said, without announcing it. He warned me about forgetting home, not the place, but the values that first shaped my spine. Remember, he said, who you were before the world spoke. He taught me to face fear directly, not challenge it recklessly, but prepare thoroughly. Confidence, he said, comes from readiness. Now his advice lives in my pauses, in my choices, in the way I hold doors and hold my tongue. It lives when I choose honesty over advantage, peace over proving a point. Father's advice is no longer guidance alone, it is inheritance. Something passed without papers or signatures, carried in blood, sealed in memory. And one day, when my voice grows slower, when my hands show time, I will understand fully. He was never just teaching me how to live. He was teaching me how to leave something good behind.